Okay. Well, I'm Mike from Midlands Movies, and I've been asked today to kindly meet the crew from McAllen-Finney Productions. And what I'd like to ask first of all, really, is could you introduce each of yourself and what you do in the production company yourselves?
Right. So I'm Phil. I do most of the audio and music, or supervise a lot of the audio. For McAllen-Finney Productions. And if it's not gone through me, it's gone through me, or it's been produced by me somehow, or somebody else has done it.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm Glenn. I'm the founder of McAllen-Finney Productions.
I'm Tommy B, cameraman and producer.
Cool.
I'm Micky. I do lighting.
I'm Kelly and I do producing.
Excellent. So how did you all get together? So there's 5 very different roles there.
Yeah, so I started this company a long time, but 13 years this year. It was just me on my own for years, me and my brother making little short films and stuff. I never really got anywhere, and then I had a massive long break, and then me and Tommy actually met each other doing bands and stuff. I've been in a band together, I've been in a band for like 9 years now, and we started writing films, and the first film being the RockMan. We got your friends Sam and Rich to come in and write, and we started filming that. But back then it was just us two, sort of on the cameras, and then we met Phil. Well, Tommy knew Phil anyway, and Phil, he's always he's like a whiz on like music and like sound and stuff. So like, Phil, do you want to come and do some sound for us? I know I feature film. He's like, well, yeah, and the jumps at a chance. And so that's how we sort of us three met. And then Kelly, we hired her to be hired her for a role in the RockMan actually. And she's turned out to be multi-talented, producing and a wide variety of stuff. And then Micky, I've known for 10 years or so. And when he saw the RockMan, he was like, right, something needs to change here. You need some good lighting. I was like, I know you the man to do it. He was like, yes. So here we are.
So you said RockMan was your first production then?
Yes.
How did that come about?
It was me and you again, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
a music video idea, really.
It was.
Really.
Yeah, what was it again? It was like something in space, like the Earth being trapped in a box or something like that. And there was. And I was like, right, so there needs to be some sort of villain here or something to wrap the Earth up in a box. So like, what about an asteroid man? Like a man that's made out of rocks, essentially. And we were like, right, this is a film. So we're making this into a film. It's not a music video, we're doing a film. And then we hired, the friends of ours. So we said, do you want to write the film script? And they went into comic books and films and stuff. So kind of snowballed from there, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Were you involved in that, Kelly? Front of the screen, behind the screen?
So they put out a call for some actors and actresses, and then I answered it, and met up with Lenny and Tommy. And
you were so good you joined the company as well.
I just never leave.
Well, that's
Once you join, you never leave. That should be the slogan for the company.
The leading gentleman of local production film companies. So the RockMan, you got the script together and you joined together to make it. Was there any particular difficulties in making it? I know we've got a limited time.
It took us, there wasn't limited time as such, but it was set in 2017, if I remember correctly. And we kind of wanted to release it in that year, sort of thing. So we'd started about 2014. So it took us 3 years, best part 3 years to do it. Right. And God, some of the things we ran into, farm animals being one of them. We were just doing it guerrilla style.
How did that happen?
Well, this is it. We were working in some fields, randomly in the middle of nowhere. Weather was terrible because it was in the middle of the winter. And then we were just filming, it was all going well, got everything shot that we needed to. We turn around and there's a cow standing next to us like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And Tommy's got a phobia of farm animals and stuff. To be honest with you, I'm not fond of them myself when they're right next to you.
But, there was two audio takes I had to scrap because a horse made a sound in the middle. Irritating.
Yeah, the joys of filming on a farm, I suppose, But stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, there was a scene with Rob as well where we lost him for a little bit and he was just talking to a horse.
Did that make the final cut?
No.
There was that cat as well.
The
Oh,
cat.
the cat as
Yeah,
well,
the
yeah.
cat,
Coming on set.
The cat, yeah, kept coming on set.
Every
Like,
scene,
oh my
yeah.
god, one of them actually worked. He was shot on a farm, and there's this cat like mingling around, and then it just kept turning up, didn't it? Like when we didn't need to, we thought we had the shot on the cat, and there it goes, this cat like stood in the background. Like, great.
Did you get a credit? Did you get a credit?
Unfortunately, not.
No, but the main problem was it was an ambitious project.
It was
Very
huge.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Probably
Is it
far
feature-
too
is it
big
feature
for
length?
it.
Speech, yeah, we split into 3 parts.
Hour and a half.
It was an hour and a half, yeah. It was stupid. Stupid idea. Won't be doing that again.
I told you.
I thought so, anyway.
So Mick, you came in obviously a saviour at some point. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hold me in such high esteem.
What's your background? How did you like join, and what do you think you could bring to the team?
Well, it was mainly like Glennie said, it was kind of just being there and watching RockMan and watching what they achieved, because like you said, it was a huge achievement with being the first time outing almost, after such a long break as well, and sort of watching that, and I thought I want to be involved anyway, and I actually came on to begin with just doing sort of runner duties, so that kind of thing, fetching, carrying coffee, that kind of thing.
Key, actually.
Still waiting for mine.
Yeah, these guys were like, actually, we could do with some lights. So I sort of did my research, bought the kit, and then it was kind of my toys. If you don't let me play, I'm going to take it away.
So let me join.
Kind of worked. So,
And what was the first film that you used them on or
so,
participated in?
the first one that I participated in was the first N0ughty List film, but the first one that I sort of started looking after the lighting was the second half of Thursday.
So you mentioned the N0ughty List there. Were you all involved in that?
All of us, yeah.
Yeah. How did that come about?
It was a challenge, wasn't it? It was a 48-hour challenge for the Grindhouse Planet Film Festival. We only had a day to shoot it and a day to edit it, so I think we did really well. We ended up doing a second one for that as well, which turned out 10 times better, I think.
Was that in the same film challenge, or did you give yourself a bit more space?
No,
for that
but
one?
yeah, we had time for that.
Okay, you mentioned the N0ughty List, 48-hour film challenge, and the N0ughty List 2, we had some more time to plan as well, but you also mentioned in between those two, you made a film called Thursday. Kelly, do you want to tell us a little bit about that film?
It was a script that I had a go at writing, and I don't think I'm a very good writer. So I handed it over to the guy that wrote the RockMan Sandwichton, and he did a big revamp of it and kept the initial storyline, but really made it quite like what it is. So I sent it over to Glennie around about the time that we premiered the RockMan, when he was feeling pretty exhausted. And I was like, here's another project. And he was like, yeah, let's go for it, let's shoot it. And yeah, we went into rehearsals pretty much straight away, and then filmed it within about 3 months.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's the storyline of a girl in quite a bad situation being tortured by a horrible man. But there's quite a few nice little twists and turns in it, so that was a really fun one. Yeah, but I think everyone enjoyed that one.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that was really cool. It sounds like you got a great atmosphere on your sets and things.
So relaxed, it's so relaxed.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
But your genre is often dark, to be fair, isn't it? It's like horror and...
Yeah, there was quite a nice bit on the set of Thursday where I was all bloodied up and looking really not quite nice, and there was like a knock on the door because someone had to come through the set, and this guy came through with like 3 young children. And I was just like, I'm okay. Just looking horrified.
Yeah.
You mentioned, again, that's a couple of projects. You said, one kind of flowed into the other. How many projects do you have going at any one time, or do you always have ideas bubbling?
Yeah, there's always something going on. I mean, this year's going to be stupidly busy. I mean, yeah, we've got a project coming up that me and Tommy are directing together, and then we've got another film that Phil's directing, and then we've got another big project coming up, and then probably another N0ughty List as well, all in this year. So it's what will we do?
What's your project together called? Do you have a title that you can share?
Yeah, Project 444.
Okay.
Quite a futuristic, different way of living.
Yeah, it's more dramatic. So, like, obviously, the world's not what it used to be. It's kind of getting more polluted by the day. We sort of play upon that a little bit. So, the world's so polluted that crops can't grow and people can't really survive and stuff. You don't
want to give anything too awkward.
No. Early days.
Give away the secret twist at the end. Try and avoid
Yeah.
that. And Phil, you said you had one as well.
Yeah, so the mini one that we're doing at the beginning of this year, it's essentially a ghost story, but it's just summarise it without sort of destroying the story. It's a bit like, you know, when you look into the abyss looks into you, sort of thing. It's like when the character moves into that to a sort of terminus of realising what's not happened. Essentially, you know.
They like to send me footage of computer games and say, recreate this lighting.
Oh, okay.
I'll try.
I'm not scared of this, so that's probably a good leads to other questions about what you are influenced by. Obviously, you work in certain genres. Mick will stick with that. What about yourself? Like, if you're lighting, obviously it changes from film to film, but is there any filmmakers, lighting people that you'd like to emulate the look of, perhaps, at all?
Yeah, I mean, we're always talking on set that it's, you know, kind of the stuff that Spielberg puts together. Obviously, you know, it's the cliche sort of filmmaking answer, isn't it? I suppose, but it's a
good standard, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
the smokiness and the light coming through the smoke.
Oh, okay,
this is it, you know, and then moving into some of the more kind of, you know, sci-fi type stuff. You know, I want to try and create, especially on sort of the one that we're working for film. You know, we're looking at a lot of external lighting coming into buildings and then interacting with different things in the room to try and sort of create, you know, something different, direct light from inside, I suppose. So cool. It's it's interesting.
Kelly, what about yourself?
The one that currently springs to mind is I've had quite a binge on Black Mirror recently.
Okay, yeah.
And you should not binge that.
Very dark.
But there's a woman called Annabelle Jones who's an executive producer on that.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch like interviews with her on YouTube and things like that, just her kind of aura is quite inspirational. She's very assertive and very kind of dominant in knowing what she wants, but quite likeable as well. So, I'm reading up a lot about her.
I won't ask if Kelly's like that for the before. Oh, you are. We've got lots of projects successfully completed, many of which I've seen at Midlands Movies as well, which has been absolutely great. What about you three? Anything that's influenced
I was saying
you?
Black Mirrors and Tarantino. And
Yeah.
I like old school films, to be fair.
I think Black Mirror is hugely a big influence on the next project we're doing. Yeah, that sort of tone.
You mentioned everything from people coming through the set to cows. What other kind of hurdles do you find as kind of local, relatively low budget filmmaking presents, and have you overcome them? Say, you know, how does that affect you making the film you want with perhaps limited resources? Any sound things?
Sound problems.
The main thing I've heard, I've been counting with sound, is don't be scared to ask for help. Because with the sound stuff, you would believe the amount of stuff you've got to do. With all the overdubs, all the sound effects, with all the music. Don't be afraid. Don't keep it close to your chest.
Sure, yeah.
Give jobs to other people and try and get them to come in and help you, because they will. They actually will.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think, like you said, collaborative. Mick was saying it earlier, but not just within your own production company, but outside as well.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a very close film community. I know, like in Leicester particularly, because that's where I live, but also the Midlands as well, further afield. A couple of hurdles there. Tommy, do you have any issues when you've gone out and started making some of these films? What are the things you've learned kind of along the way?
Nothing too much really.
Apart from farming.
Apart from farms, we're dragging dummies through fields.
Oh, yeah.
Black bag.
Practical props.
There was one bit actually saying that when we were filming the RockMan with the dummy that you just mentioned in the middle of a field. We had no permission to film in. You know, we were just there, side of the road, middle of the day, with a dummy that looks highly realistic, by the way. And we're just filming. We got thrown off the land, obviously, because you didn't have a permit or anything to film there. I'm not going to say where. But and then we ended up putting the dummy in the back of the van. And we're like, hang on a minute, if someone's seen us now, we'll probably get arrested, you know. So yeah, stuff like that.
Don't move bodies around.
No.
Kelly, what about yourself? Any hurdles that you've had to overcome on any of the productions you've been involved in?
I think generally from my filmmaking experience is letting go of creative control. So a lot of people get very protective of like a script they've written and they don't want it changed or anything like that. But as soon as you learn to get over that and realise how other people can make it so much better, it's such a release and a nice feeling. But other than that, I say even though people will let you use locations, sometimes locations can be a bit of a problem to deal with. We're sitting in one that's been quite useful.
How do you find approaching the people who have the location you want? You know, as a low budget filmmaker, say.
Being as you are one, it's quite useful.
Yeah, this one's been great. I find it literally goes either way. So either they'll be like, yeah, this sounds brilliant, great, let's help you out, or that sounds terrifying, that's going to ruin our reputation, your storyline is mental, we're not being associated with that. Yeah.
Mick, any kind of hurdles on your productions where you've done the lighting?
Yeah, these lot.
Your colleagues.
That's why we call it
difficult.
Yeah, it's always the same thing. It's always a challenge to, it'll be like an alleyway and you'll be expected to light outside with kit that's not cost very much money. As we say, this is all very low budget filmmaking. And then trying to sort of, tie soft boxes onto roof railings and things like that.
That was a great day.
It sounds like it's all hands on deck then in Finney Productions, But I think that's from what I hear and what I know about you guys, it creates a good atmosphere on set and obviously helps productions get finished. Without giving any of your secrets away, so to speak, what's a good piece of advice you would either give someone or you've received yourself about making films locally?
Just anything you've got. I mean, I started with a little JVC camera with the old tapes in it. That's how I started. And then I moved on to a Sony Handcam again with the tapes. No lights, no nothing, on my own, filming my friends and stuff, running about, and it turned out well. And just do it. You've got nothing to lose. And you've got a phone in your pocket now with a great camera on it, and I'm sure you can get like stabilising device if you want it. And editing software on your phone as well, or if you ain't got a computer, you can do it. There's nothing stopping you whatsoever. Just go out and do it.
Just experiments, isn't it?
And it's the most fun I've ever had. Making film, the most fun I've ever had. And I recommend it to anyone.
Keep it fun.
Keep it fun. If it's not fun, then don't do it.
Good advice. Very good advice. Phil, anything to add to that? Advice you've received or given out?
I was just thinking about what you said, and that's a very difficult thing. It's hard. The audio stuff is very challenging. It's very challenging. All the from the sound effects to the dubbing to the soundtracks, it's not easy. And you need to like say, well, for example, when I was in my garage with my my wife's shoes on my hands, clacking down to make the sound effects. Like clacking and trying to make the right. And watching the screen. This is where the footfalls
magic happens.
But that's not necessarily what people consider to be audio, and some people wouldn't like that. But if you're going to get into that film stuff, you have to be prepared for that. It's hard.
Great advice.
That's hard. But it's well worth it.
Again, it sounds a lot of fun, but I see a lot of films more than most. I see a lot of local films more than most people, and I think sound is one of those key things that people can overlook very quickly. It's like people got the images, it's camera, it's acting, it's what's on there, but the sound can really can make or break a film. I've found in there, so I think that's really good advice, and there is a complexity to it, which I think you've explained really well. And I think that's great advice for anyone. Kelly, any advice or you've received or you'd give out to someone on these projects you've worked on?
I feel really grateful and really lucky, but getting yourself a great team, and a base team, because we've been through so many great things together, and you're constantly learning skills. Like, so Phil will teach you something about audio, Micky will teach you something about the light, these guys will teach me something about the cameras, and then even things like, even though I'm with GM Productions, me and Micky got involved in an Enchanted Warlock Productions short back in November for the 48-hour challenge, and I ran it past Glennie and said, are you okay if we go and do this? And he was like more than up for it, and came and saw the film that we actually made. So it's just nice having a base team that understands each other and gets along and does it to the heart of it, and you feel comfortable.
That sounds great. And Mick, anything?
Yeah, two things. First one, I cannot understate how useful a good pair of gloves is. The amount of times I've melted my fingerprints, what is it? I
thought you meant for like the cats and the cows on set.
When you're taking it
That's
down.
very good advice.
So that's the first one, and then the second one is don't worry about sort of bodging it a bit, because as long as it looks good on screen. So, for example, when we were doing the last N0ughty List one, I was looking for some orange gels to put over lights to create like a, you know, as if like street lights and that kind of thing. And the best ones I found were 2 pick and mix bowls from Pound Saver, which were £1 each, and got those, and we basically stuck them over the lights. With,
Is that what that was?
stuck them over the lights with masking tape, and these things, because of what they were made from and because of the way the colour was, it gave a really nice kind of orange feel, and it was to somebody watching on the screen. You know, they don't know any different.
No.
So don't be afraid to sort of experiment and see, you know, what you can come up with.
Okay, we talked about some of your past projects, present projects. What do you see the future? You mentioned a few things you've got lined up. A very busy year. What do you see the future of GM-Finney Productions long term? What would you like to set out to do after some of these projects that you're probably doing get finished?
As long as we're doing the same thing, I'm happy. You know, this is the pinnacle for me. This is great. You know, this is all I ever wanted, just to make the films. You know, and have a great team behind me. And that's what we're doing now. So I can't see it getting any better, to be honest with you.
Cool. Do you have any individual goals you'd like to do? We'll start with Kelly. Anything that, you know, as the team, it seems like you're really close together, you go in this direction, but obviously you've each got very different tasks, roles and skills. Anything that personally you'd like to achieve in the next 12 months or so?
Just keep going with it. I think GM-Finney Productions is kind of my prime focus at the minute. We are taking different avenues without even trying. So like back in December, we ended up doing this fight workshop, like a fight choreography thing. Where we brought a guy come in and trained us all on how to do it. So even though we are primarily filming, we do like little workshops like that, and we get the team together and things like that. So if we can keep moving forward and keep coming up with different ideas of how to keep fresh in between filming, then that's kind of my motivation. And yeah, it's such a nice thing to just have things to do within the production company.
Cool. Micky, any personal or team goals that
I
look forward to?
I think I'd love to see something that we make, you know, on the kind of festival circuit, that kind of thing. You know, and I'd say it's not about the money; it's about you know, making something that's seen and just like what Phil was saying, it's kind of there forever kind of thing. So I think getting that sort of recognition for a project. You know, and I'm not going to name any festivals because, again, it's dropping cliches, isn't it? So, you know, it'd be great to get something in one of the big festivals. Sure. And that would be, you know, a future goal. The next years or however long.
If money wasn't a problem, we all know it is at the level that we're all working at. What kind of film would you like to tackle? Anything that you'd go, you know, I'd love to.
If money was
money was.
Because everything I'm writing at the minute is all based on you can't do this in this place, or you can't do CGI with this.
Sure, yeah.
So it's irritating, isn't it?
It is.
But if it wasn't,
You did have CGI in the RockMan, though.
We did,
It looked
But-
not as good as it could.
Yeah, for the budget. I mean, again, like limited resources, you can't make a rock roll across the ground. Well, you can. If you just did that.
CGI rock, he could.
Cool. Yeah, any final words then about GM-Finney Productions from any of you?
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just check out all the films we've done. I mean,
Yeah, where can people find more information about it?
so we're on youtube.com/GM-Finney Pro, right?
Yeah.
No idea. Something like that. Just
Google
search-
it.
Yeah, Google it. Just Google it. But yeah, follow us on Facebook, give us a like and stuff, and yeah, check us out. You might like it.
Sounds
That's a good
fantastic.
point as well. If anyone wants to get involved,
If you want to get involved, even as a runner, again, go on Facebook. You might see some flyers around Midlands Movies Awards. There'll be some flyers hanging about, no doubt. So yeah, just come and find us.
We have a day on the 17th of March. I don't know when this is going to go out, but we do need extras. So if
Okay,
anyone's
there you go.
interested in getting involved, then drop us a
Yeah.
message.
Sounds fantastic.
Great.
Cheers, guys. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thanks a
much.
lot. Cheers, mate.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Cheers.